Yes, good day, everybody. Today, I'm super, super excited to have with me in the studio one of the finest young women I have met. Her name is Okoye Chinelo. She's a brand expert. She builds people's business. She helps you build your brand. She gives you that vibe you need in your business. So today we have with us here in the studio. So she's going to be telling us how she's been doing it. Like I always tell my audience, I want to bring this into your life from the people that have done it, people that have success story, because one person's story should be an inspiration for another. So thank you so much for coming, Chinelo. So, in your own words, who is Chinelo Okoye? Tell us about you.
Okay. First of all, Chinelo is just a regular girl and a regular human being. Well, I'm a brand strategist. I am a founder of two tech companies. I have a branding agency. We help lifestyle, tourism, and hospitality brands with business development and everything branding to make them, stand out in a saturated market. I am also, I founded Karina. Karina is an AI powered success suite for freelancers and creative professionals. So we're still in the software development, and I can't wait to talk more about it as it unfolds. So that is basically what I do. And when I'm not, busy with business and stuff like that, I am probably cooking because I love to cook.
Wow.
Yes, I love cooking. I'm an artist. I draw like realistic drawing. So like I'm a very good artist, and I love to travel. Yeah, I travel to anywhere that I feel. Usually, my traveling is inspired by things I see on Instagram. I can see like really cool places, and
Awesome.
I decide, oh, okay, this looks
Awesome.
like
This
my
is
next destination. So yes, I'm a nomad. I'm a digital nomad, and my work gives me that flexibility to work from anywhere. So I'm not really compromising on work, and most times I'm on vacation, but I'm working.
awesome.
So yeah,
You
that's
see what
me.
I mean? I said she's powerful. You can see the whole portfolio loaded. Thank you so much for that. So, like, I know you said so much about yourself. Obviously, you're an entrepreneur. What inspired you? Like, people want to go to school 9 to 5, go to school, get good grades, and get a good job. But now you're just there. You're an entrepreneur. What's your inspiration? What brought about that? Why the choice of branding?
Okay, first of all, I think this whole thing has to be traced back to my childhood because my parents contributed, greatly to this. I started earning when I was 14. Like I had my first blog when I was 14 years old,
Mm,
and I started earning from AdSense. It was fun. Like I wasn't taking it serious. It's just my parents kind of channeled us to do the things that they feel like we want to do. If my dad sees you probably playing with his phone and
wow.
maybe just doing something, he's like, okay, maybe this person may be, in tune with the tech space. So he gets you the laptop so you can
Mm,
concentrate on the laptop and leave his phone alone. If you're scribbling on the wall, he says, okay, she looks like an artist. So let's get her a drawing book. So it was like those little things I just see and they kind of shift our minds to that. And the thing is, entrepreneurship happened to me because I sort of I'm multi-talented
mm-hmm.
and I could do so many things, and then I just didn't know what to do. I
Wow.
mean, what to focus on. And I found out that every single hobby that I had was kind of lucrative.
Mm,
So I didn't know where to start because they come naturally to me. It's
awesome.
like for instance, video editing, photo
Mm-hmm.
editing. I started shooting videos when I was like very small, like 8, 9,
Mm,
just for fun, just for the sake of doing that. And I just didn't know that every single thing I was passionate about, could be monetized.
mm,
So when I got to a point where I don't know what to be called, because when people ask, I was in secondary school and then I got to the uni, and when people ask, what do you do? I don't know what to say or identify as because I do so many things. And it's kind of embarrassing to just list all those things. So I asked my dad, and he says, just start with one that you're more interested in.
Sure.
And when you're well known for that, or maybe when you're deeply rooted there, you can start adding the other ones. And I'm like, okay, I love designing. I love creating something out of nothing. It makes me really happy. So he said, okay, so go start a graphic design class and just, do something, learn it. And I said, okay. And then I started, and I discovered that I was really attracted to packaging designs on the shelves. I
Mm.
would go to stores not to buy anything, but just to
To
take a
create
look
something.
at the designs on those shelves, because I just love the concept, how they make me happy. I just want to
Mm.
look at them. And then I went from graphic design to packaging design. So I wanted to
Wow.
major packaging design. So I started doing that, and it was really, that was what I was known for on LinkedIn the first time that I got on LinkedIn, because that was something that I really, really, loved. And at a point, I figured that my clients at the time always wanted more than just the packaging design, because when I
Mhm.
delivered the product, the those
Packaging designs. Yeah.
they would ask, "Oh, do you also do this?" And I say, "No, I don't do this." So when I kept getting the same request over and over again, I decided maybe it's actually time to look into this and
Mm-hmm.
see how I can expand. And then I wasn't really, it wasn't really my thing at that point. I wasn't so good at it, so I I paid for mentorship. I hired a team at the time, and we started creating something. That was how my branding agency was born. It was born out of the
Passion.
need to expand. Yeah. So with time, I became really good, because all those things comes naturally to me. I could do everything that every single person in the team could do, but I can't do it alone. So I knew I needed to build like that team, and that's how branding, became my thing.
Wow. So I
Yeah.
can, if I listen to you properly, this whole thing came out of passion. You
Yes.
gradually developed it, and you had a dad who was available to support you. It's not a dad that said, "Oh, the preface." He just wanted you to do something. That brought
Yeah.
about my content too, because when I use the word nurturepreneur, we just come here to nurture people that have entrepreneurial skill, people that want to do something. Awesome. Kudos
Yeah.
to you, girl. Thank you so much. That was so very deep. So, what tip do you share on entrepreneurial businesses? How do you build people's personal brand? Because I know branding is very key to anybody's business. If you want to stand
Yeah.
out, you want to be unique, you need to have something to identify you, or what makes you different from the rest. So, what are the tips you use to for people branding?
Okay, so that question is kind of broad. If I
Hmm.
start saying that, we could probably spend 3 weeks
Ah,
talking about it.
make it as simple as you can.
Yeah. So I'll just like make it really simple. And well, for me, I focus on lifestyle, tourism, and hospitality brands.
Mm-hmm.
As well, I travel a lot, and tourism is a passion of mine. And lifestyle, it's still part of me. So I niched it down to things that I'm passionate about, things that I love, something that I live, because it's my reality. So that way, it's easier to relate with them. And I know, like, for someone who's like who travels a lot and has experienced so many things, it's easy to work with something that you're constantly involved in. So that's
Mm-hmm.
why I'm working with this set of this audience, this target audience of mine. So about branding and business development, honestly, it's a whole lot to actually brand a business or develop a business. There's so many key things that comes into play. You need to know your market, you need to know your target audience, you need to understand what they really want, you need to understand what they are going for. And
Mm-hmm.
because so many people are doing almost the same thing these days, you have to
Mm-hmm.
find a way to
To be different.
constantly stand out. And because of that, my agency is currently working on a pioneering software.
Mm-hmm.
It's called emotional brand mapping. So we're
Okay.
developing this software where brands can foresee the
Like
the
a
end
progression.
end
Yeah.
products of what they are doing, and also see how people are going to react to that, because
Mm.
so many businesses fail in the first 3 years.
True.
So if your business doesn't fail in the first 3 years, it means you're most likely to succeed in the business.
True.
So we use this tool to analyze and actually predict if your business idea is even viable in the first place, and if it's going to fail or if it's not going to fail. We use this emotional brand mapping to kind of study emotions behind, because everything is about emotions.
True.
Products or services are sold based on emotions, so we try to study people's emotion or people's reaction or how people are going to accept this product or service before it even gets into the market.
Very
That
true.
way, it saves you money and
Mm-hmm.
time,
Mm-hmm.
and you could strategize. So the software is not out yet, but it's something that we had to add to what we're doing. Also, one of the ways that we have helped businesses increase sales when it comes to their business is usually these days is user generated content, because
Mm-hmm.
people are most likely to go with like regular everyday people. When you see
Mm-hmm.
someone, a normal person like
Yes.
you, using a product, you want to try it out, then when a company is telling you this is what we produce and we want you to buy, you're
Mm-hmm.
less likely to listen to the company, because they're going to say anything because it's their company. But when you see
True.
a random person saying, oh, I got this phone case and it's the best thing that ever happened to me, you're like most likely to listen. So that's one of the um areas of the marketing strategy we apply these days. And I don't know where to start and where to end. But
You've
when it
done
comes to
you've
business,
done so well, because
it's
speaking to
not.
you, you got a lot for me. You got a lot for me. So
Yeah.
I'm actually learning from you now. I'm hearing a lot of things I've never had before. So I'm also interested in one or two things you're up to. But I
Yeah.
know on the social media platform you are big. You're big mostly on LinkedIn. So can you tell somebody like me or somebody that's just starting their business that want to go big like you, how did you come about your followers? How did you get your first, second, third, and today you're running a lot of numbers. So how were you able to go out there? Like somebody that want to put themselves out there, what's your advice to them?
Okay, it's not a one size fit. I
Mm-hmm.
actually created a whole course on it. And honestly, what works for one person may not work for the other person.
True.
But usually, there's like a general rule of thumb when it comes to LinkedIn, and that is know what you want to achieve.
True.
If you don't know what you're trying to do, you wouldn't know where to start.
True.
So you have to ask yourself your end goal at the end of the day on
Mm-hmm.
LinkedIn.
Mm-hmm.
So if you're here just to engage with people, just socialize, connect with people, then that's a goal that you need to work on. But if you are here to probably land clients, that's a whole different goal on its own. If you're here to build a community, that's a whole different goal. If you're here to do all of them, that's an entirely different goal. So when you have set this goal aside and you've decided, you see, this is what I'm here for, and this is what I hope to achieve in the next 3 months, 5 months, a year, that helps you,
Awesome.
focus on something. Then you have to know your target audience. On
Mm-hmm.
LinkedIn, my target audience are freelancers, creative professionals, and lifestyle, tourism, hospitality brands. Just I have three target audience on LinkedIn. So I know that for every single post that I craft, it has to be addressed to either of these three or three of them all at once. So you have to know your target audience first. So many people don't know their target audience, so they talk about everything and nothing.
Mm,
So when you talk to everyone, you're talking to no one. So you
mm.
have to talk to one person. You have to say, "Hey, I'm talking to you," and you call this person's name. You call your audience. You call your tribe to yourself. So that was what I did when I started on LinkedIn. When I started posting. I was still at 100 followers, and then
Mm-hmm.
I'll just come and I'll post flyers because I was, you know, still doing my graphic design. My packaging design was just kicking off,
Mm-hmm.
and I'll just come and I'll post and I say, um, get pay for one and get three free. You know, those
Oh,
kind of
you did promos.
promotional. content. So that's like all I did. And I would get one like, one comment, which are all from me.
Mm.
It was not it was not my problem. I didn't come on LinkedIn to build a community. Building my community happened by accident. So I
Wow.
didn't come to build a community. I just came there because I heard there's someone that I knew, Gerald, was
Mm-hmm.
landing so many deals on
On
LinkedIn
LinkedIn.
and
So
making.
you came to look for money.
And I said, "Oh, is that possible? Okay." And it was so fresh out of Fiverr and Upwork, and I said, "Okay." So someone could actually get more than that, and he said, "Yes, it's possible." And
Mm-hmm.
I said, "Okay, let me just try." So I just got on LinkedIn, and I would just post my thing, and I go. I don't understand the platform. I don't care about those likes and those comments. I didn't even know it was supposed to be a thing. So I
Mm.
would post, and then I come back the next day to know if probably someone is asking for my bank account.
Mm.
That's all I'm interested
So
in.
you
And
actually
it wasn't,
went there to add value to yourself. You wanted to make more money, and at the end, the crowd came. Awesome.
I didn't go there to add value to anyone. I just went there to post something and probably someone would see it and
Mhm.
contact me. There was nothing about value,
And at the end of the day,
building my.
you got both the contact and you got both the people. Awesome. That's good.
Well, I quit LinkedIn. I
Mm.
mean, I wasn't working, so I left LinkedIn for
So
like
where are you now?
3 months. I left LinkedIn for like 3 months, and
Mm-hmm.
then I came back again
Oh, okay.
on LinkedIn. And
Okay.
then I decided, you know what, since this is not working, let me just enjoy the platform. So
Awesome.
I started talking about the things that I was working on. I
Mm-hmm.
started talking about how I navigate certain things and
Mm-hmm.
how, I was just being myself. And then it started attracting people who could relate to what I was saying.
Sure.
So I went from 100 to 200 and 500, and I went to having 1,000 followers every single day to getting 10,000 followers in a month and 20,000 followers in less than 2 months. And that's just how that happened to me. So for LinkedIn, what happened to me may not happen for
Sure.
someone else. But the rule of thumb is just talk to your tribe, call your tribe. If you don't call them, you're not talking to anyone. So that's
True, true.
basically.
Because in everything you do is relatable. You don't if you keep coming, you keep showing up. If you have the strength,
Yeah,
if you're consistent, you're persistent, it just add up. So looking at your
yeah.
story is a story of being consistent and being
Yes,
passionate
I
about
was.
what you're doing. Yeah.
Yes, I was. I showed up every single day on LinkedIn
Awesome.
for a month, and
Awesome.
it got.
So with what you I've been listening to you. I'm super thrilled. So you've been talking about a lot of app you're building, some software you're building, and I know there's one you're actually building an AI powered brand targeted at changing the economy. You call it the gig economy. I know you have a
Yeah.
lot, but I want to really focus on that. What do you mean by gig economy? Can you explain? I know you have other apps. If I allow you to tell me a lot of software you're building is a lot,
Yeah.
but let's narrow
So,
down to gig economy.
okay.
What is gig economy?
So the gig economy is the labor market, but the labor market that is saturated by freelancers
Mm-hmm.
mostly.
Okay.
So it's not like a full-time thing. It's freelancers who work on contract basically. So the gig economy is what we have these days. Remote work, that people, work remotely, side hustles, passion projects, all of those
Mm-hmm.
things. That's like what the gig economy encompasses. It's the future, because everyone is trying to move into an era where they could work and still have time for themselves. So usually freelancers are what make up the entire gig economy, because it's not like a full-time thing. For some of them it's a contract, but they're constantly earning, and they have more work-life balance than people who have like a traditional 9 to 5. Not saying it's easier, but that is what the gig economy
Like
is.
a
It's
side
like
of the
AI powered success suite that I'm building is a software for freelancers and creative professionals. This software is going to change the future of the
of the
gig
gig
economy.
economy. Thank you so much. I've really learned some things from you. So who stands to benefit from a brand? Because you are a brand, You're brand experts. You build people's brand. You can turn somebody's business from level 1 to level 10 if they want to. So who can benefit from brand, or who should we expect to benefit from branding their business? Like I tell people, if you're a housewife, you don't have a job, you want to do a business, you should have something you represent. And you already explained that. So is it for everybody, or is it for a certain class of people? That's an open question right there.
Okay, yeah. So everyone would benefit from branding because branding is people fall in love with your brand, like with
Hmm.
your person. Your person is your brand. So you'll have to start with the personal branding first because people want to buy from human beings, not robots.
Hmm.
So if you want to sell better, it means you have to build your personal brand. So
Sure.
people have to love you enough as a person, as if someone who is uniquely you, to want to associate with your business because that's what gives them that because they never seen you before, but they feel like they know you because they constantly see you out there and your personal brand is authentic. So every single person, when it comes to branding, as long as you're trying to sell, as long as you're trying to build something online, as long as you're trying to build a business, you need branding. You need to brand yourself, you need to brand your business. And branding is not just a logo or a website, it's the entire package. It's you as a person, you are the brand. So everyone is a brand. It depends on how you try to develop that brand. So the difference between the brands that make waves and those that are not really, you don't hear about them, is just in the way the branding was done. So if it's not done properly, that's a problem.
You
So
actually hit the nail, or rather, you hit the nail on the head. It's not the logo, it's not the
yeah,
website, it is you.
no,
People need to
yeah,
relate what you do to you,
yeah,
because people
yes,
have to buy you before they actually buy the products, or they
yes.
have to
Because
buy you
people
before
are,
they actually buy the service. Thank you
yes.
so much. In fact, you already answered the whole question for me. So, looking ahead, what is an exciting time with you? So, what do you think the future holds for branding? Because people are
Well, I
looking,
think
because
it's
if you call the word
yeah.
branding, people, the first thing is in my logo or my complimentary card or my website. So what do you think the future holds for branding? Does it have the potential to reshape the economy?
Of course, everything is branding. Everything is branded. The microphone that you're using is a brand. It's branded. Everything you're doing right now is a brand. So there's no. It's not something that would run out of fashion because as long as
Mm.
people breathe and live, they will constantly need to be in that place where they want to stand out. Like the it feels like everywhere is saturated, even though
Mm-hmm.
it's not.
Mm-hmm.
But if you want to be seen and heard, you have to
To be
take your
different.
branding seriously. And branding has to do with consistency. Whatever you're
Mm-hmm.
known for, you have to
And for it.
continue that way. For instance, you'd hardly see me smile in a picture, so when you notice my pictures, I hardly smile. It's not it didn't start out on purpose, but at the time I noticed I don't really smile at my pictures. Okay, let me just continue that way, and I just don't smile at my pictures. Or whenever you see me make a post on LinkedIn, you will notice I probably my pictures are high quality pictures. Or you would notice the way I write and I use those lines, those um there's always a break for every single thing that I
Mm-hmm.
write. I use that line to break it. That is brand. It means when someone sees your post, even without
Your face.
seeing your name,
Just
it just feels
resonates.
like, oh, this is this person. So mostly branding has to do with consistency. If there's something that you're doing, you have to consistently do that. I'm going to use Sabinus for instance.
Mm-hmm.
Sabinus, the
The
comedian.
mm-hmm.
Whenever you see his clothes and that tie, even if someone is wearing it, if someone is dressed exactly like that, you're going to say, "Oh, this person
Oh,
is dressed like
just like
Sabinus."
Sabine, true.
Oh yeah, that's his brand.
That's
And
his
then you
brand.
so you see
True.
in Nigeria, if you see a yellow umbrella somewhere,
Doesn't it?
You're probably thinking they sell recharge card there, and
Mm-hmm.
probably it's MTN.
Yeah.
That is what they like. When it comes to branding, it has to be consistent, because
Mm.
even if the MTN logo is not there,
The first thing
you
that comes
just
to mind.
assume, yes, you just assume that it is MTN, because they've been they are constantly in our face and constantly, showing up in that same way that it's
Mm.
ingrained in your subconscious.
Sure.
So it's about catching that subconscious. That's what really matters. So if you
Mm.
have to, if you strike that nail on the head, if you just keep being
Mm.
consistent in a way that your presence is announced without you saying a word, that is branding. So branding is not just about that logo. The logo is great, it's for formalities, but it's what you do. What are you known for? When I think about quality, who do I go to? When I think about, what do people say about you when you're not there? That's
Mm.
your brand. What do people say about your brand? When How did they perceive your brand? There's some people's branding that has to do with fraud. There's some
Mm.
people's branding that you could relate to honesty, and you say, okay, if it's this person, then
Yeah.
you have nothing to worry about, because it's going to be a fair trade. So um uh, branding has to do with
Mm.
everything, and more. So it's not just that, it's not just the logo. It's about your personality, the personality of the brand, the value that you give to your audience. So that is branding, and it's not going out of style anytime. So it's
Mm.
never going out of style. Branding has existed long before you and I. So
Sure.
it's constantly evolving, and people are trying to see ways to always stand out every single time. So yeah, that's it.
Thank you so much. The expert has spoken. Branding is about you. You have to be
Yes.
uniquely you. People need to be able
Yeah.
to differentiate you. You must be able to stand out. And I tell my audience every time, if I have the opportunity to, dare to be different. Thank you so much for coming,
Yeah.
Chinelo. I've learned so much. I too will go and look for my brand strategies. I already have you though. So you come and give me some more tips. So thank you so much. I'm really
I'm
honored to
sorry.
have you. And I'm watching all your trip.
Thank
And I hope you enjoy your holidays. Thank you so much. Thank you for coming.
you. Yes.
God bless you.
All right. You're welcome.